The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey there, avid listeners. I know you were expecting this week's deep dive into the man who killed Hitler and then the Bigfoot, along with what was shaping up to be an all-timer of a bottom 5 with our microgenres list. But, well, much like the titular mission of that film, things did not go exactly according to plan. Through a series of unfortunate events, most of which involve me being in Las Vegas, a non-functioning pool and spa system that seems to have a personal vendetta against me, a missing wine opener that had me fussing with the wine bottle for the better part of 2 hours, and my son hitting a full existential wall somewhere around the midpoint of Far Cry 3. Well, with all that happening, Mike and I were not able to get together and record this week's episode. But rather than leave you with nothing, we are finally doing something we have talked about doing for years. This week, we are cracking open the vault. Now, for those of you who don't know, Filmjitsu did not begin with me as a co-host. The original run of the show dates back to around 2010, when Mike launched the podcast that wields films like Deadly Weapons with his good friend, John. They put together something like 75 episodes, laying the groundwork for everything the show would eventually become. And here's the thing. One of the quirks of the current run of Filmjitsu is that, for the most part, those movies are off limits. We don't tend to revisit films that were already covered during the original run, which means some truly legendary disasters like Battlefield Earth, Spice World, and even Catwoman have been sitting just out of reach until now. Because if we can't revisit them, we can at least let you hear where it all started. So this week, we're taking you back to one of those original episodes featuring Mike and John tackling the full, unhinged spectacle of Showgirls, directed by Paul Verhoeven, the helmer of Total Recall and RoboCop. It's got everything you'd expect from early Filmjitsu, a full main review, a bottom 5 list, and even a few earnest staff picks to cleanse the palate after all the cinematic carnage. And fair warning, this is a younger Mike, a different era, slightly different rhythms, but the DNA of the show, it's all right there. So sit back, enjoy a trip into the Filmjitsu past, and I'll catch you on the other side.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Filmjitsu, the podcast that wields films like deadly weapons. We are your hosts. I am John.
And I am Mike.
This week on Filmjitsu, I will be reviewing the Paul Verhoeven Showgirls. We're going to do our bottom 5 dancers, play a little Matinee Deathmatch, throw some staff picture away, and then I get to let John know what I have in store for him in retaliation for making me watch a film as terrible as Showgirls. So, John, I would like you to go ahead and explain to our listeners what made you decide that this was the right time for me to watch a movie like, of all things, Showgirls.
Well, I mean, this movie is a bit controversial, and it obviously was going to make our list at some point because it is widely considered one of the worst movies ever made. The oddity is, as you mentioned, it's directed by Paul Verhoeven, who I think we can agree is pretty rad, usually.
I think rad is probably the right word for Paul Verhoeven movies.
He made RoboCop. He made Total Recall. And then he had this weird fucked up area where he did Basic Instinct and Showgirls before then going on to do Starship Troopers. So, I don't know. It's a weird blip in his career, but obviously it was going to make our list. So I said, let's do it. Let's go for it right now. Why don't we go ahead and roll the trailer and then we'll get more into the movie itself.
Okay, ladies, I got one interest here, and that's the show. I don't care whether you live or die. I want to see you dance, and I want to see you smile. I can't use you if you can't smile. I can't use you if you can't show. I can't use you if you can't sell.
From the creators of Basic Instinct, the last time they took you to the edge. This time, they're taking you all the way.
We take the cash, we cash the check, we show them what they want to see.
You got more natural talent when you dance than anybody I've ever seen.
She's going down to the Stardust. She's gonna be in the show.
Right? If someone gets in your way, step on them. It's not fair.
It's not about fair. It's about power. You're a stripper, don't you get it?
I'm a dancer.
She's dazzling, she's exciting, and she's what Las Vegas is all about.
The passion is real.
I can fall in love with you.
The desire is intense.
You can't touch me, but I can touch you. I'd really love to touch you.
And the show is about to begin. Showgirls. Leave your inhibitions at the door.
So there it is, Mike. Showgirls, a movie nominated for a record 13 Razzies. What do you got?
Allow me to tell you some of the things that happened before this movie even started. It's rated NC-17, which means nobody 17 years old or under could go see the film in theaters. They don't care if you had a parent, a guardian, whatever, you weren't getting in. In fact, when the release actually happened, they had people standing by the door to the theater to make sure there was nobody going into that theater that wasn't at least 18 years old. And so this movie promises violence, strong sexual content, nudity, graphic language, and rape. Yes, it specified rape. I was already concerned. Before I saw the first Elizabeth Berkley boob in this movie, I saw a switchblade, vomit, solicitation, pyrotechnics, a bar brawl, and at least one mullet.
So it was a Motley Crue concert.
It was a Motley Crue concert, yes, exactly. All before the first shirt even came off.
Wow.
Right. And so Elizabeth Berkley, in case the trailer didn't clue you all in, is a girl who comes to Las Vegas. She gets a job as a stripper. Her dream is to become a showgirl. She fancies herself as an actual dancer and not just a stripper. And through circumstances somewhat out of her control, she finds herself actually dancing on a Vegas stage. One of my favorite parts of the movie is when she's working at the strip club, which is called the Cheetah. Oh. The strip club owner is played by Robert Davi, who most people probably know as the opera-singing Fratelli brother Jake from the Goonies. He plays Al, the strip club owner, and all he talks about is semen. Every time he's talking, he manages to discuss semen somehow.
That's unsettling.
It is unsettling. It was kind of gross, but at the same time, it was sort of funny because all I could imagine was him singing opera all the time. Yes. And then the shirts started coming off, and the pants started coming off, and everything was off.
Wow.
And it stayed off. This got to the point, John, there is so much female nudity in this film, I actually stopped noticing that everybody was naked.
Wow.
And what's worse is I stopped caring that everybody was naked. When you can have so much nudity in a film that I forget there are nothing but naked ladies, that's an outstanding achievement.
Yeah.
It really boggles the mind how much nudity is in this. And it's called Showgirls. There was bound to be plenty of nudity. According to my intense research, which was basically a simple Google search, Elizabeth Berkley, who we all know and love as Jessie Spano from Saved by the Bell, and really that's kind of the gimmick, I guess, of the movie, is that this was the Saved by the Bell girl, and now she's completely naked. She was naked for a combined total of 20 minutes of screen time. And I mean bare, full frontal naked.
Holy Lord.
That is about 1/6 of the entire film. Elizabeth Berkley was only paid $100,000 for her role in this film. So if you do the math on that, that means she was paid $5,000 per minute of nudity. Have you ever had to break down your paycheck that way?
Not by nudity, no.
Maybe you're in the wrong profession.
Apparently I am.
I also couldn't help but wonder if maybe there was a Saved by the Bell cast viewing party. You know what I mean? Like where Zach Morris and Screech and that AC Slater, they all get in a room and they watch this movie. I mean, this is a film starring the girl who had just been the modest one on Saved by the Bell for years. And now she's completely naked, grinding her stuff all over everybody.
Wow. You know Slater saw it because apparently he's a pretty nasty dude.
You mean Screech?
No. Slater cheated on his wife on their honeymoon.
Oh. Well, Dustin Diamond ended up doing really disgusting porno.
Oh, that's true.
And that's unsettling in its own way. But I don't know what is more unsettling. Dustin Diamond doing porn or Elizabeth Berkley doing Paul Verhoeven full frontal?
I'm surprised they had people out, and I guess it's probably because the time that this movie was released. I mean, we were still a bit prudish back in 95.
I mean, 95 really was kind of the height of the political correctness movement.
Yeah. And so, I mean, the movie didn't do well. And I think they probably would have brought in a little bit more money if they just let people in, you know? I mean, it was made on $45 million, and it only grossed $20 million. So that's not very well from a commercial, success standpoint. It did then achieve cult status and went on to do $100 million in video rentals, which we'll let our listeners decide why it did so much money in video rentals.
Yeah, I can imagine a lot of VHS tapes in 1995 got worn out from rewinding and pausing.
Yeah, because you didn't have to go behind the curtain to get this particular one.
I mean, really, this is what happens when a film gets rated NC-17. In a lot of ways, it's a death sentence for your box office.
Yeah, and a lot of movies have fought against that and gone through the appeals process because they know it's going to kill your bottom line.
And I believe that Verhoeven did an R-rated cut of the film for video rental because some places wouldn't carry the NC-17. I don't know specifically, but places like Blockbuster, Walmart, Target, there were some retailers and rental outlets that wouldn't let the NC-17 version on their shelves. And so they put out an R-rated version, which I can only imagine just cuts that 20 minutes of full frontal Elizabeth Berkley nudity.
No, actually, the R-rated version is only 3 minutes shorter.
How is that possible?
I have no idea.
So there are only 3 objectionable minutes in this whole movie? Because I got to tell you, there is plenty in this film that I can see why the stuffy guys at the MPAA decided that this had to be an NC-17. I can think of a lot more than 3 minutes that probably would have set them off.
Yeah, I don't know. It's 3 minutes shorter, so...
I have to tell you that the draw for this movie, obviously, and all the controversy was the nudity and the sexual situations, some of the violence, which I think I'll talk about a little bit later. The thing that really bothered me about this movie is that the script is ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Are you ready?
Yep.
This is a line from the movie.
Okay.
And I apologize ahead of time for the vulgar language. I didn't write it. I got a problem with pussy. I always have, and I always will.
Okay.
That is a character apologizing to another character.
What?
That's an apology in this movie.
That's the level
Hey, look,
of writing.
I'm sorry. I got a problem with pussy. I always have, and I always will.
Was this like a coming out scene?
Nope. No, I think it's a guy. There's a guy who has sex with a stripper other than Elizabeth Berkley, and then he apologizes to her by saying, "Hey, what are you gonna do?"
I get it.
That's what this script brings to the table. That's where the headspace was when the film was being written. They developed these characters in a way that is at times so poorly thought out that I had to laugh. The only way they could express that Elizabeth Berkley's character was a girl who is not used to the lights and the glamour of Sin City, but she's an outsider who's sort of at the mercy of this crazy place, was by she buys a dress at a store, and it's a Versace dress. And when she's in front of some of the showbiz types, she refers to it as Versace. She says, I got this dress at Versace, and they all kind of laugh at her. And that's our big clue as the audience, that this girl doesn't really understand the glamour that Las Vegas has. She's just a small town girl, and she's vulnerable in this big, scary place.
Oh, God. Well, I'm glad
that's the kind of development that they have. You know what I mean? Like, show the small town girl who doesn't know anything about fashion.
Oh, man.
Now I know everything I need to know about this character, apparently.
Well, I'm glad they won Worst Screenplay then, because that's fucking awful.
Did this get a Razzie for screenplay?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it makes total sense.
Yeah, it was nominated for 13. It took home 7, which at the time was a record.
And has since been beaten out?
It was tied by a movie we already did, Battlefield Earth.
Okay.
Each of them have also since picked up an 8th in retrospective awards, like this got Worst Picture of the Decade in 2000.
That's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, Worst Picture of the Decade.
An entire 10-year block of bad movie making.
That 10-year block being the 90s.
There were a lot of good movies in the 90s.
But there were a lot of shit movies in the 90s.
There were. I mean, this was the same decade that gave us Battlefield Earth. Yep. So that's what we're dealing with here. And so to be recognized after the fact as the worst film of an entire 10-year period really says something. A lot of it falls on the shoulders of the script.
Oh, absolutely.
It's that ridiculous. It really is. Some of the performances actually are not terrible. Kyle MacLachlan is pretty good, but he's always good.
Yeah.
I'm a big Twin Peaks fan, and maybe I just had a soft spot, but he plays a producer with questionable morals, and he plays slimy well.
He lost Worst Actor, actually. He was nominated for it, but he lost it to, of all things, Pauly Shore in Jury Duty.
Well, there you go. Gina Gershon is in this, and she's naked a lot.
Wow.
I don't think she does full frontal, but she's naked a lot. And she's actually pretty okay. She plays a real shitbag of a character. And she has this raw sexuality that she brings to a lot of her characters. Mm. She just kind of oozes sex appeal. But her accent in the movie changes based on her costume in a way that I don't think she realized, and Verhoeven either let go or just didn't care to try and fix. I don't know. But like, if she's wearing a Cleopatra outfit, then her accent sounds vaguely Egyptian. At one point, she's dressed like a cowboy, and her accent sounds like Kurt Russell in Tombstone.
Oh.
It was ridiculous. I don't know how it happened. I'd like to think it was tongue-in-cheek, but it was just subtle enough that I have to think that there was no way somebody intended for this to actually come out on the screen.
And given the level of writing you're describing, I can't imagine it was on purpose. It picked up quite a few Razzies, as we've already said, and a couple of the ones that I thought were pretty funny were it got Worst Screen Couple for any combination of 2 people or 2 body parts. But the one that really stuck out to me that I thought was really weird was it won Worst Original Song for a song called Walk Into the Wind, which apparently is also known as Love Theme from the Rape Scene.
Right. Well, now is as good a time to discuss that scene as any. So, Elizabeth Berkley has a roommate she meets when she first gets to Las Vegas. She meets this woman and she becomes her roommate and her only friend in the city. Mm-hmm. And they start hyping the fact that there's this big rock star that her friend loves. This big famous guy, and he's coming to Vegas, and she's so excited. And they kind of tease it throughout the movie, and you're like, well, what's going on here? Why is this important? So finally, the guy shows up, and he looks like a combination of Weird Al Yankovic and, I can't believe I'm going to present this opportunity to you, but Sabretooth from the X-Men movie. There we go. We managed to talk about X-Men again. But this guy looks like Weird Al and Sabretooth crammed into one guy. Wow. And he shows up at a party. Elizabeth Berkley introduces her roommate, who's totally good to go for this guy. I mean, she's meeting her all-time favorite rock star. Mm-hmm. And she's made it pretty clear that she was willing to do basically whatever this guy wanted, which sounds pretty okay if you're that guy. Yeah. Well, out of nowhere, and for no reason, he takes her into a back room, then punches her in the face. Then he and a couple of his entourage proceed to rape her.
What?
It's completely out of left field. It has nothing to do with the story. It almost serves as some lame development for this character, but that's not actually developing a character.
No.
It was almost like, well, we need to do something with this character, and we don't know what else to do, so let's do something horrible. And it was a disgusting scene. It was completely uncalled for. It was graphic. It was disturbing. In a film that already had so many what the fuck moments, including Elizabeth Berkley dry humping a character for like 5 straight minutes while she is bare naked.
Wow.
It actually manages in the latter half of the film to put in this rape scene that if I wasn't watching it for Filmjitsu, I would have shut it off. Yeah. That would have been enough for me. I mean, I never would have made it that far on my own anyway, but it would have been enough for me to say, I've had it. This movie is all done. It was just unnecessary.
I bet that's the 3 minutes that got removed.
It probably is. You know what? Now that I think about it, it's probably about 3 minutes. And you know what? Fair play. Fair play to deciding that that needs to come out of the movie, because really, there was no need to see it. And you know me, I'm not the kind of guy that's big on censorship, and I really believe strongly in artistic freedom and all that kind of thing. But this was just tasteless.
Yeah.
I could not come up with a reason for it being in the film. And therefore, I really think you improved what was already a crap product by taking it out. I would have enjoyed this film much more had I not had to go through this rape scene at the end. I wish I could call this film satire or even farce. Yeah. I do. I wish that I could say this was Paul Verhoeven doing sort of his farcical spin on this whole Vegas showgirl thing. Kind of in the same way he does with Starship Troopers later in his career, which is, I think, a satire on militarism and the media.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the level he's operating on here in Showgirls. He did Basic Instinct right after Total Recall and just before Showgirls, and I think that sort of told you a little bit about the direction he was going to fall into with Showgirls. Yeah. But to follow it up a couple years later with a movie like Starship Troopers that I think actually is intelligently satire the way that I wish Showgirls had been, is an accomplishment on his part.
Absolutely.
But again, Starship Troopers is a divisive movie. I mean, people either really love it or really hate it. I'm on board with it. I think it's a lot of fun, but that's certainly not for everybody, and I think a lot of people wrote Verhoeven off immediately after Showgirls. I don't know that anybody was going to give him any mercy after a catastrophe like Showgirls. So to call this movie even farcical would be like calling dog shit fine cuisine. The movie is just cruel. Everyone's despicable. It's hateful towards humanity. I don't get what Verhoeven was going for at all. Not at all. I think of him as a capable director. He's a guy with vision.
Yeah.
But for Showgirls, it seems like the vision that should have been a story of manifest destiny about a girl who moves to Las Vegas and makes good. It should have been a story about manifest destiny, or at least a story that says boobs aren't boring. What it actually shows is that shit always floats to the top. I was bored with a movie full of naked ladies.
Wow.
That's really the whole review I need to give you. I was bored with naked ladies. That's never happened to me before.
Yeah, I mean, that takes something.
So, I don't know. I think the movie's objectionable on a lot of levels. From a creative standpoint, I actually think that Elizabeth Berkley herself, and I am prepared for the shitstorm of emails I'm going to get for this, but she was not terrible in this movie. She was very raw. She was really intense. Mm-hmm. I mean, she played this movie kind of fiercely. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that in like a, an Amazing Meryl Streep kind of way, but the girl was really trying in this movie to do something with this character. And I have to give her credit for that. I even think that Roger Ebert gave her some credit when he reviewed this film. And a lot of critics, and I think Ebert being one of them, in retrospect, have gone back and reviewed this film again to say, you know what, maybe it's not as bad as we had mentioned the first time around. Yeah. But I don't think I'm going to change my mind on Showgirls down the line. I really don't. Roger Ebert referred to this film as a waste of a perfectly good NC-17 rating. That couldn't be more on point.
Oh, man.
So, John, for making me watch Showgirls. Sir, just go fuck yourself.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So this week, to go along with Showgirls, we decided to do our bottom 5 dancers. I had a lot of fun with my list. I hope you did too. What do you got here for your number 5?
I had a harder time with this list than I thought. I really thought I was just going to be able to knock out a huge list and then whittle down some great ones. I had a tough time because it turns out a lot of the dance scenes and dancers I could remember were kind of awesome. Even the ones that initially I thought, oh, that's a terrible dancer. Napoleon Dynamite came to mind real quick. But actually, the whole point was that he was sort of awesome. I mean, he wasn't a great dancer, but he was sort of awesome. Same thing with Pee-wee dancing on the bar. The whole thing. So I had a tough time. But my number 5 is from Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. Now, let me tell you, because I'm sure you're wondering, why the hell did Mike see Romy and Michelle's high school reunion? I've mentioned before on the show, one of my favorite film podcasts is Film Spotting. It's excellent. If you're not listening to Film Spotting, start listening to Film Spotting. It will probably actually quickly turn you off from our stupid-ass Filmjitsu. But they did a listener's choice episode, and the listener made them review Romy and Michelle's high school reunion, and being a guy who likes to follow along, I checked it out as well. There is an interpretive dance scene at their high school reunion. It's this hellish interpretive dance. They're wearing they're like Martian disco spacesuits, but they all, I don't know, there's a lot of fake fur on them. It's ridiculous. I don't remember. It might have turned out to be a dream sequence. I'm not sure, but it's like a 5-minute long interpretive dance scene with Mira Sorvino and Lisa Kudrow, and it was awful. It was awful. So, I mean, interpretive dance is awful. You find a movie that has interpretive dance, I'm going to try and put it on my list. When it's like 5 minutes long, it's definitely there. So that was my number 5.
Nice. All right, well, my first dancer on my list is a dancer from a movie that's gotten a lot of crap, but I know that both you and I actually do enjoy. And so my number 5, Elias, played by Trevor Furman in Clerks 2.
Yeah, I really like Clerks 2.
There's this great dance scene in it where Becky's trying to teach Randall how to dance because he claims he doesn't know how to dance. So Becky is played by Rosario Dawson.
Are you serious? You're going to teach me to dance up here?
What, you want I should do it in front of all the customers?
What customers?
Shut up. Come over here. Okay, get ready for the music. You feel it? Here. Here it comes. Something a little less demonic, please. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Just follow what it is what I'm doing. Okay. Step forward. Step back. To your right. To your left. Turn to the right. Okay, you really do suck. Sit down. I told you. Just watch me, right? ABC.
And of course, everyone starts dancing. It's this whole big, montage scene where it cuts to different characters all dancing to this song. And
it actually turns into a musical number smack dab in the middle of a Kevin Smith movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Which was sort of amazing at the time. I couldn't believe it happened, but it totally worked for me.
And at one point, Elias is doing something that can only be described epileptic vogue.
Yeah, he just freaks the hell right out and I think falls over.
Yeah, he's just freaking out, and it's the strangest thing you can ever see. And so I had to go on here, mostly because I wanted to mention this movie and this scene, because I think you're right. It's a musical number in the middle of a Kevin Smith movie, which is just kind of like, wait, what? But it's awesome.
And I gotta tell you, it will make you fall in love with Rosario Dawson, and that scene specifically will make you fall in love with Rosario Dawson. My number 4 is from the Jennifer Garner film 13 Going on 30. Now, full disclosure, I've only seen one scene from this film. I saw it on YouTube. So it's kind of bogus that I put it on here. But there's a scene where Jennifer Garner is at a party I think.
Yep.
It looks like a company party.
Yep.
And she's the only girl dancing on the dance floor, and she has the DJ put on Thriller by Michael Jackson, and she starts dancing to Thriller. And then another person comes over and starts dancing with her. The next thing you know, the whole room is doing a perfectly choreographed move-for-move Thriller dance. But it's not a musical where I'm supposed to suspend my disbelief and think that everybody knows this bit. I'm supposed to take that this is actually happening at a party.
Yep.
John, we have been at a lot of parties, even together, where Thriller dancing has happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's safe to say that usually this is a booze-fueled engagement, and never has there been flawless, full-on, synchronized Thriller dancing.
No.
And the worst part is that it all looks like the stuff white people like version of Thriller. And if you're not reading Stuff White People Like, we'll actually link to it on the show notes. You need to check it out. But they look like they're doing the moves but not dancing. Kind of like the people who stand behind the instructor in like a killer cardio fitness DVD. Not that my fat ass has ever spent any time with a fitness DVD, but that's what it looks like. So she's terrible. The scene is bizarre. It's a terrible version of actual dancing. I don't know. It kind of has to be seen to be believed. Maybe we can find a YouTube clip and get that also up in the show notes. But that was it for me. 13 going on 30. Mercifully, I've only seen that one scene.
Well, speaking of the 80s and Thriller, I'm going to go with a movie from the 80s. I think we can agree that Michael J. Fox pretty much personified the fun of the campy 80s movie.
Yeah, I think. I mean, sure.
I mean, he's in so many. And so I've picked one from probably the height of that fun, Teen Wolf. There is a scene in Teen Wolf in which Teen Wolf shows up to the prom, and somehow he invents this dance that looks like, and he gets everyone doing it, it looks like this weird slashy claw Thriller ripoff dance, to go back to Thriller there. And this is just the beginning. He gets everyone doing this. And then,
I can't believe I didn't think of this.
And then he goes on this superpower-fueled, White Knights-inspired, spinning acrobatic display thing. It's the weirdest fucking scene in the world.
Here's what we're going to do, John. Upstairs in my attic, somewhere, I have a Teen Wolf poster.
Nice.
It's not in fantastic shape. It's been well loved, but I have it. The first listener who makes a video of themselves doing this Teen Wolf dance and sends it in to us at mikeandjohn@filmjitsu.com, I will gladly mail my Teen Wolf poster to.
That's pretty rad.
So we have a contest now.
Yep.
Send in your Teen Wolf video. And you know what? Maybe not the first one. Let's make this a straight-up contest. Send in your Teen Wolf dance videos. We'll check them out, and I'll send the poster to the best video.
Nice. I like that.
I hope that I win so I can keep the poster. My number 3, John, it actually came to me just the other day when I was hanging out with my brother. We were talking about the upcoming film, The Expendables, yes. The big, crazy action star movie, which led us, obviously, to a Jean-Claude Van Damme discussion because he's not going to be in The Expendables, and that's kind of bullshit. Mm-hmm. But it reminded me of his hilarious dance scene in Kickboxer. He's wearing a muscle shirt and super tight jeans. And he walks into a bar in Thailand, because of course he's in Thailand, and he puts some money into a jukebox, and he starts this hilarious ass-shaking dance with some of the girls in the bar. And the guys at the bar kind of get sick of him impressing all the ladies, so they start trying to beat him up. And he doesn't stop dancing. He just turns his dance moves into ass-kicking moves. So he's doing these like dance/ass-kicking moves at the same time.
Oh, God.
It's ridiculous. I don't even know what to say about it. I wish that this would happen at a bar that I go to. I really want someday to go to a bar, see Jean-Claude Van Damme shaking his ass in the bar so that I can then attack him and get kicked in the face to death. That's what I want. That's how I want to go down, trying to take out Van Damme for not being able to tolerate his sexy dancing. Van Damage.
Well, that's pretty fantastic because my number 3 is Jean-Claude Van Damme in Kickboxer.
Get the hell out. How did that happen?
Because it's the most hilarious dancing. anyone has ever put into a movie. He's like clapping his hands because he doesn't know what to do with his hands while he's shaking his ass in this really exaggerated way. It's ridiculous. At one point, he goes down into a full split and punches a guy in the face. It's just ridiculous.
Doesn't he go down into a full split and punch a dude in the balls?
I think he might do that, yeah.
That's excellent.
Oh, God.
Well, then, let's move right into my number 2. And really, it was inspired by number 3. It's the breakdance fighting from Zoolander. Here's the backstory with me and Zoolander. There was a semester where John and I were students at the University of Vermont, and the guys who ran the university television station at the beginning of the semester put in Zoolander, pressed play, put it on repeat, and abandoned ship. And so 24 hours a day for an entire semester, you could turn on the TV and get Zoolander. And I must have seen various parts of this movie thousands of times during that one semester. It was the kind of thing where at first I hated it, and then it was around so much that I had to kind of stop hating it, and then it sort of became charming, and then I hated it again by the end. That was my relationship, but there's breakdance fighting in it, where Luke Wilson and a DJ engage in full pop and lock spinning on their heads breakdance fighting. It was ludicrous. That's why it's on the list. It was ludicrous, and it kind of made it the full evolution of Van Damme's dance fighting. Yeah. This was actual breakdance fighting, where both parties were breakdancing and fighting.
Oh, it's so good.
What's that? Mugatu's Derelict campaign. Sorry I didn't book it.
Oh, yeah? I've never even heard of it. Me and my friends have been too busy bathing off the southern coast of St. Bart's with spider monkeys for the past 2 weeks. Tripping on acid changed our whole perspective on shit. So I guess you can derelict my balls, Capitan.
I can derelict my own balls. Thank you very much. You think you're too cool for school. But I got a news flash for you, Walter Cronkite. You aren't.
Well, my number 2 goes a little bit further back to an early career Jim Carrey, vamping it up, yes, I went there, in Once Bitten.
I remember that scene.
The scene at the dance where the two ladies are vying for his affection, and Jim Carrey's hamming it up like no other in between the two of them. And the reason it made my list, because the whole point is for it to be very camp, and that's the movie, is very cheese on purpose. But at one point in this dance, Jim Carrey plays his leg like a guitar, and I can't abide that. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Nope. Done.
I thought about this scene, actually. I did. I don't know why I know Once Bitten so vividly. Well, that's an excellent selection, sir. And before I give you my number 1, I have to say that this was sort of my Electric Boogaloo tribute list. There's a lot of bad dancing in that movie. And of course, there are hundreds of dance scenes that we're leaving out. And I'm sure some that were a lot worse than this. But my number 1 had to be Chris Farley doing the maniac dance from Flashdance in Tommy Boy.
Oh, God.
He's getting sprayed with the hose.
Yep.
And he starts doing the maniac dance.
Oh,
it's a riot. I loved it, but the reason I chose it for bottom 5 dancers is clearly Chris Farley was never meant to be a dancer.
No.
And so when he parodied a classic 80s dance movie, I was immediately sold. It was just hilarious. It was hilarious, and that's why it worked.
That's awesome.
So Chris Farley, and of course, I think maybe I was influenced by his Chippendales routine with Patrick Swayze on Saturday Night Live.
Absolutely.
Which is like face fall off, kind of funny. That's it for me. Chris Farley doing his maniac dance.
Nice. Well, my number 1, Sarah Jessica Parker in Girls Just Want to Have Fun. She's the only one on my list who I can say 100% is just a god-awful dancer. Because it's not even like it's a cheesy, funny scene. It's all throughout this movie. Her dancing is so bad that anytime she doesn't have a dance double in there, where it's a faraway scene that you can't see who it is and it's clearly not her, they do this zoom right in on her face so you can't see what her body's doing. So every dance scene is cuts between really far away shots that you don't know who it is, and then really super close-up scenes so you can only see her face and not her body.
They had to edit her dancing right out.
Her dancing is so bad that she influenced the way the movie was shot.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I got to admit, this movie's a guilty pleasure for me. It's a lot of fun. It's got Helen Hunt, who I love. It's got Shannon Doherty, who was a bitch even at 14 in this movie. But when you were so bad, you influenced the way the film's edited. Sorry, you got to go number 1 slot.
That seems reasonable to me. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. That's on point.
Yep. All right, well, as you said, I'm sure we left out a bunch. So if our listeners have some that they want to throw out there, bottom 5 dancers, definitely send us a note at mikeandjohn@filmjitsu.com. All right, Mike, it's that time for us to breakdance fight in a round of Matinee Deathmatch.
Do you know what would happen if I tried to breakdance fight?
There'd be a lot more break than dance if either one of us tried to breakdance fight.
That's for sure. Nothing that is constructed the way I am should be spinning on its head.
Are you ready?
I'm ready, buddy. Here we go. Name different movies about millionaires.
Ooh. Toys.
The Big Lebowski.
The Jerk.
Brewster's Millions.
Oh, shit, that was my next one. A Fish Called Wanda.
Richie Rich.
Nice. Mr. Deeds.
Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh, It Could Happen to You.
Chinatown.
The Black Widow.
The Addams Family. That's bullshit.
Annie.
Blank Check.
Curly Sue.
Superman.
Overboard.
Ocean's 11.
The Italian Job.
The Godfather.
Oh, I can see it, but I'm totally blanking on the name of it.
Uh-oh.
Crap.
Johnny's on the ropes.
It's got Mel Gibson. Shit.
Your eyes swelling shut.
I'm not going to come up with it. I can't. Fuck.
Oh, man.
What's the one Mel Gibson, his kids kidnapped?
Ransom?
Of course it's fucking Ransom. Jesus Christ. Oh, shit.
Oh, in your face.
Well played.
In your face. Another episode of Matinee Deathmatch in the books. I win.
Which was really Matinee Deathmatch about heist movies.
I've been thinking about it, and I keep kicking your ass in this game really bad. Like, really, really bad. And I'm concerned that maybe the listeners are getting bored with it.
Maybe
this is what we should do. Let's put a poll up on the website asking the listeners whether or not Matinee Deathmatch should stay or go, or we should replace it with a different game altogether.
Oh.
How about those are our 3 options?
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, let's, it's all about the listeners.
It's putting the fate of our format into our listeners' hands. And they did screw us over with Sex and the City 2 already.
They're the ones listening, so if they screw themselves over at this one.
Yeah, our feedback on Matinee Deathmatch has really started to dwindle. We're not hearing back from you guys as much as we were earlier on. So if you wanted to stick around, get on to the website and vote at the poll and let us know if it should stay or if it should go. And definitely write into us at mikeandjohn@filmjitsu.com and talk about Matinee Deathmatch and toss in your 2 cents and renew my faith that maybe it's a segment you guys are into.
Or if you have a good game that could replace it.
Oh, that's true. Always, always thinking. John, we are at the part of the show now where we take some time and stop talking about crap and start talking about the good stuff. Staff picks. Please, oh please, let me know, what do you have for our listeners this week?
All right, I'm going to go a couple of years back, not too far in the Wayback Machine, but I wanted to do a movie that kind of kept with the theme of the episode, and I started thinking of some fun dance movies, but decided that I was going to play off of the cult status that Showgirls has sort of garnered for itself recently, and then was inspired by one of the actresses in my number 1 for my bottom 5. So I went with 1989's Heathers.
Heathers is a rad film.
It's a high school dark comedy, which I guess is the best way to describe it. You got Winona Ryder, Christian Slater, and the one who inspired me, everyone's favorite bitch, Shannon Doherty, who plays one of the 3 Heathers in this movie. So the idea is that the movie revolves around these 3 popular girls who were all named Heather, and they rule this high school. And Winona Ryder plays Veronica, who's kind of on the outside of this group, but wants to be popular with them and hang out with them. But she gets tangled up with this character named JD, who's played by Christian Slater, who turns out is actually a complete psycho. Rumors get started, revenge is sought, people start dying. It's your typical year in high school, essentially.
Yeah, things really get out of hand fast,
It really unravels.
JD, you are not even listening to me!
Nag, 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 nag!
That knife is filthy!
What do you think I'm gonna do with it? Take out her tonsils?
Excuse me, I think I know Heather a little bit better than you do. If she was gonna slit her wrist, the knife would be spotless.
This movie didn't do a whole lot commercially originally, but has since attained some cult status as well, especially amongst children of the 80s. So a couple cool facts about this movie for you. One, Jennifer Connelly originally turned down the role of Veronica that Winona Ryder got, which Winona Ryder begged for, apparently. Heather Graham was originally going to play one of the Heathers, but she was 17 and her mom wouldn't let her have the job. And Brad Pitt tried out for JD, but was turned down because he came off as too nice.
Oh man, it's so much better that Christian Slater got this role.
He plays it really well.
Christian Slater was really awesome during this period. I don't know what has happened to the poor guy since, but he really had some excellent, excellent performances throughout the 80s. Look no further than Pump Up the Volume if you want to see some excellent Christian Slater. Am I the only one that remembers Broken Arrow?
Oh.
Bad guy, John Travolta?
Yep. Facial hair.
Not to mention Hard Rain.
Oh.
He was in a movie called Hard Rain, which I can only assume is a movie where it rains really hard. Yeah, you're right. It's better to kind of forget all about those things and just go right back to Pump Up the Volume and Heathers, Gleaming the Cube.
Good stuff.
Right? Okay. Well, John, my staff pick this week, I was trying to stay with Showgirls a little bit. So I went with everybody's favorite Vegas movie, Swingers.
Nice.
That's right. Swingers. And I will give you bonus points if we can go through this whole conversation without you saying Vegas, baby. Think you can do it?
I'll try.
This is the Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn film about two guys headed off for a weekend at Vegas. Vince Vaughn plays his slick, fast-talking self, and Favreau plays a dopey schlub who's broken up over a girl. And so Vince Vaughn's going to get him out of town and show him a good time and help him get over this girl.
What the hell are you kicking me for? Fine, I'll ask her. You want me to ask her, ma'am? Where do the high school girls hang out around here? You know what, man? You were fucking off your ass tonight. Where did you learn to do all your stuff, man? It's twirly-whirly.
Jackknife, shut up. I took a ballroom class with Michelle. And she's the only one I danced with till tonight. That Lorraine is good, though.
You are definitely good. Did you even see how she was vibing you tonight?
Sorry, man.
You know what? You probably could have hit that if you didn't have to take us home.
Definitely. It's not like that.
Don't give me that shit, Mike. I think she liked you.
I know she
I
liked
really
me.
do.
Shut up, okay? I know she liked me. I just didn't want to do anything tonight.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? Honestly, you should probably wait 3 days before
You don't have to
call.
wait 3 days.
You know what? You should wait 2 days.
You know
She's
what?
probably wait 2 days.
You know what? I have it under control, okay?
He has it under control.
Oh, I guess we don't have to worry about him anymore.
Our little baby's all grown up.
It's a lot of fun. The movie is a lot of fun. Really, it was probably the flick that best put Vince Vaughn on everybody's radar. It wasn't his first film, but I think it's probably the one that made people notice who he is and what he can do. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of a road movie. It's buddy film. It's all that stuff that I'm usually suckered in by.
Oh, yeah.
It was directed by Doug Liman, who hasn't directed a lot of stuff, and in fact has directed some kind of crap movies. But he directed The Bourne Identity in 2002.
Not too bad.
That franchise was quickly taken over by Paul Greengrass, and I think probably with better effect. The poor guy went on to do Jumper.
No.
Yeah, with Hayden Christensen. Sorry.
No.
But I think this is far and away his best movie. He tried to follow it up in 1999 with a movie called Go.
Oh, yeah.
That was also kind of a drug deal. If I remember, it's been a long time, but I think it was a drug deal kind of movie, a crazy night, sort of in the vein of Swingers. I think it was done Rashomon style, where the story is told from multiple perspectives. It was pretty dumb.
Yeah.
I'll just say that straight out. It was pretty dumb. But Swingers is a shit ton of fun. There is not a better Las Vegas chaser for Showgirls than Swingers.
Yeah. There's also some dancing in there that could have came dangerously close to bottom 5.
See, now I gotta disagree, because the dancing thing is kind of what prompted me to go with this movie. There is a dance scene at the end where Jon Favreau does some swing dancing with Heather Graham. They're both actually pretty good. Yeah, the scene now is kind of dated because it was that whole swing revival during that part of the 90s. I think we all can thank a Gap commercial for that. The dancing wasn't bad in that scene. I thought about it because it sort of popped into mind, that dumb dancing from Swingers. But when I really thought about it, it wasn't bad dancing.
Yeah, that may be more of a doesn't hold up to the test of time type of scene. You're right.
This is the Jon Favreau character that I really prefer. The down on his luck schlub kind of guy. I prefer that over to his cocky characters, like the guy he plays in I Love You, Man.
Yeah.
Where he plays that asshole husband. That's not really my thing. I prefer this dopey everyman character that he plays in Swingers, and it's a great pairing of him and Vince Vaughn as just two opposite ends of the spectrum. Those opposites attract kind of thing. Yep. It's a great flick. If you haven't seen it, you're making a mistake. Watch Swingers.
Good pick. All right, Mike. Well, I made you watch Showgirls, which is, as we've covered, pretty awful. So, what do you got to give to me?
I'm actually going to exercise a little bit of restraint.
Oh.
Now, you gave me Showgirls. That was, in terms of 1990s, the worst film you could have picked from that decade. And I would like to be reactionary and come back at you full force with something truly god-awful. But I'm going to take a deep breath and think it over and extract my revenge a little bit later on down the line, when you least expect it. I got to thinking, what's been missing this summer?
Kick-ass movies.
That's exactly correct, actually. Good work, John. Yes. Summer movies have been missing this summer. It has been a terrible movie summer.
Yeah.
We had Iron Man 2, but that really was before summer really got underway. And since then, we haven't really been given a whole lot. Predators just came out, okay. And we have The Expendables coming up, and Christopher Nolan's Inception, which is going to be an awesome movie, but not really something I think of as a big summer blockbuster, dopey action kind of Roland Emmerich fun.
Yeah.
That being the case, I thought, well, if the theaters aren't going to give us big summer movies, I'm going to give us big summer movies.
Uh-oh.
Next week, you're watching last summer's big summer movie, G.I. Joe, The Rise of the Cobra.
I thought you said you weren't extracting your revenge.
Oh, come on. G.I. Joe is not nearly as bad as Showgirls.
That's
not
something.
nearly. Well, yeah, it is. It really is, yes. Continuing commentary on Showgirls. But this is, it's a movie I've seen. I took my nephew to see it last year.
Yeah, that's a valid...
Spoiler alert, it's crap. So there's that. Just a heads up. It's directed by Stephen Sommers, who is really one of my favorite popcorn directors. The guy did the Mummy movie and The Mummy Returns, which is also sort of awesome.
Yep.
And he did that ridiculous Van Helsing movie, which is, if nothing, a popcorn movie.
Oh, absolutely.
But I thought, well, son of a bitch, I'm going to go ahead and give John a summer blockbuster since the summer won't give us a summer blockbuster. Boom. What do you got to say to that?
Wow. Well, I'm expecting a shit ton of CG and a lot of running around if his previous films have anything to say about what this was going to be like.
Were you a big G.I. Joe fan as a kid?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Did you have a favorite G.I. Joe?
Might have to be Serpentor. He was kind of badass.
I don't remember that guy.
He's the one they built because Cobra Commander wasn't getting the job done.
Of course you know that. I got to admit, I was never really a big G.I. Joe guy. I was more of a He-Man kind of kid.
Good stuff.
Okay, Serpentor?
Yep.
That is a dumb name.
Yes. They use the DNA of all the great leaders of history to create Serpentor.
Like Genghis Khan?
Yep.
Vlad the Impaler?
Yep.
George Bush? It was worth a shot. Well, John, that's what we're going to be reviewing for our next episode here on Filmjitsu. I hope you have a terrible time with it.
Thanks.
I really hope the G.I. Joes keep their clothes on way more than Elizabeth Berkley did in Showgirls.
I think this movie would be very awkward if they didn't.
I bet this movie would be hilarious if they didn't. It would put a whole new meaning to Rise of the Cobra.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So what are we going to do for bottom 5?
Bottom 5. This might be tricky to put together, so you're really going to have to kind of work it out. Get creative with it. Have a little bit of fun. I didn't want to do something bullshit like cartoon to live action adaptations or anything like that. We're just going to go simple. Bottom 5, Joes.
You couldn't get much more open-ended than that, can you? Wow.
Nope. Do what you will with bottom 5, Joes.
Interesting.
Guys named Joe? I don't know. Directors? Actors? Characters? Be creative. Have fun. And I would like to, as always, invite our listeners to drop us a line at mikeandjohn@filmjitsu.com and let us know who your bottom 5 Joes are, and maybe we'll get a chance to read it on an upcoming episode.
Well, I really think this will be, if nothing else, the blockbuster CG fest that the summer has refused to give me. So please come back next week and join us when I have to review G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Filmjitsu. We have been your hosts. I am John.
And I am Mike.
And we'll see you next time.
And there you have it. Filmjitsu, circa 2010. First off, I've got to say, the chemistry between Mike and John, that's real. You can feel it immediately. There's a looseness to it, but also this rhythm that just works. It's a different version of the show, but it's very easy to see how this thing got off the ground in the first place. And honestly, the main review of Showgirls was shockingly thorough. There's a level of detail there that I respect. I don't know that we'd ever want to match it. We've chosen chaos. But there's something to be said for how deeply they dug into that movie. Now, that said, we may need to talk about a few things. There was, I think, a little bit too much going after Shannon Doherty and Christian Slater, which feels especially questionable now given Doherty's premature passing and the fact that Slater popped up just last year in the absolutely exquisite "If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You." So maybe a bit of hindsight being 2020 from 2026 to the 2010 Filmjitsu. But the real issue, the one I cannot let stand, is the inclusion of Jim Carrey playing his leg like a guitar in Once Bitten on a bottom 5 list. I'm sorry, no, absolutely not. That is not just a good moment. That is an all-time dance moment. That is a top 5 territory, possibly Mount Rushmore, and I will not sit idly by while it is slandered this way. So, we may need to revisit that at some point. Justice will be served. But all in all, a fascinating look back at where Filmjitsu began, and a reminder that there are plenty more of these in the vault if you guys are interested in hearing them. As for us, we'll be back next time with the episode we meant for you to hear this time. The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot, along with our long-awaited bottom 5 micro-genres. Until then, I've been your secondary host, Jay, and Mike and I will see you next time.
Stalno mislim na te, hoću znat sve kate, vježbat ću sate i sate. Karate, vježbat ću dok zadnji mi kjaj zastane izađe.
Monkeys.
Oh, God.
What the fuck?
How did they get monkeys in Showgirls?
John, I don't know what it is about goddamn monkeys plaguing our film-going experience lately. I think I've been pretty upfront about how I feel about monkeys in movies, and it was like a goddamn trick that you played on me mid-film, where the opening act for the Vegas show is performing monkeys.
Oh,
and at one point, all the monkeys come running backstage and attack all the strippers. Not in a violent way, but, they're like throwing things around the room, and a monkey grabs a thing of lipstick and puts on lipstick and then does a big monkey smile.
Of course.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, come on, can I please have a movie where I don't have to watch stupid monkeys?